Have you ever thought about what application modernization really means? Unfortunately, the internet is full of inaccurate and biased information about it. Therefore, people in organizations that follow these misleading sources, they end up by not achieving the promised results and benefits. They didn't reduce their operational costs, neither gain improved customer experience, and now they have a bill to pay for a long time. Does that ring a bell? Anyway, first things first, let me share with you my neutral and agnostic concept of what I believe application modernization is, okay? Modernization refers to apply the most recent ideas and methods to a certain design, unleashing the full potential, improving the way it operates, therefore increasing the chances of getting the expected outcomes. With that said, application modernization can be considered as the process of accessing your application's inventory, analyzing and scoring its adherence against the business needs and the customer needs and the current technology available, and transform it into an improved and flexible architecture with optimized patterns tailored to prepare your organization to the current and the future challenge. Why is it so important to get this concept right? Because doing so, it clarifies the motivations behind starting such a complex process, which leads to an efficient modernization strategy. The main modernization drivers fall under the following categories: business-driven, customer-driven, and technology-driven. Under the business-driven, we have the business priorities, revenue drivers, balanced cost savings versus innovation that you can apply to the organization. You have the customer-driven requirements. Can we be more customer-centric by any chance? Do we have enough data insights to provide a better service? Do we have enough self-service options to our clients? And also enabling a trust in data processing while we keep the client data inside our house, and we promise the client that we are keeping it only for improving the service that we provide for him, right? And then we have the technology driven reasons, because the technology might be so old, obsolete. So do we have enough process automation? Do we have integration between the legacy and the new ones? And do we have any feasibility optimized technique? So all these technology reasons, and let's put it way more, do these cloud fluid options that we have today, are we sure that we have the right technology for the right job? In summary, if it is a simple lift and shift, or repackaging as a container, or even refactoring the whole application from scratch, understanding the business case will point you out to the most optimized return of investment option. So, how to get started? Well, if your organization have the right combination of technology and development skills, both on-prem and on cloud, a couple with strong security policies and mature workflows, why not venturing yourself to lead the transformation within your company? Of course, you don't need to do this by yourself. On top of that, I would say that to increase your chances of success, it is highly recommended to start this process with a skilled and innovative partner with several of success use cases in this area as a preference in the similar industry. There are several of well-known methods and techniques to guide you through this type of process. With some focus, I'm sure that you can get there. So with that spirit, let me share with you a few steps that are common between all of these techniques from all of these vendors. Consider as milestones that you need to achieve And that will be very handy to make your journey successful. So shall we get started?
The first step, let's call it explore and define. You may have a list of modernization priorities, or you may be staring at a blank page. Either way, you need to understand and prioritize your organization's opportunities and obstacles in order to make real change. You need to explore topics like what are your current pain points and business challenges? Which capabilities do you seek? Performance, availability, resiliency? What cybersecurity and compliance levels do you require? What are your hardware and software management needs? What infrastructure, applications, and process are you looking to improve? In answering these questions, you might find you were concerned about new regulations or that availability is a major roadblock for your team. When you start asking questions about all facets of your infrastructure, you'll start to see the opportunities. If we architect this legacy system in this way, we can improve performance. For example, until you start asking the hard questions, you may not realize the scope of capabilities holding you back. And those answers will not only clarify things that are already in your head, for sure, like microservices, containers, and API connection, but will also drive important infrastructure decisions, like what cloud services are we going to use, from which cloud providers, what needs to be on-premise, and what needs to be on the cloud, which cloud are we talking about, and many other decisions. Moving on, we have the information architecture step, which is an instance is highly dependent on the first step, because after defining the set of applications to be modernized, the following discussion is about the non-functional requirements related to the application. This is where those famous discussions or arguments of cloud or not to cloud happens. But the difference is that now we are based on facts, and this is validated by the organization. The main discussion points and actions here are identify the non-functional requirements for the applications such as RPO and LTO, performance, scalability, management, easiness, and many others. Establish the target architecture, data integration design, and coexistence to the legacy architecture. Select the deployment model, on-prem, public cloud, private cloud, or hybrid cloud, and provision the infrastructure that address all the NFRs that you validated in the previous step. Step number 3, modernization. Of course, if the application is way too old, you can also retire or replace it for something brand new, right? But imagine that you can modernize in place, for example. You can retain, keeping the existing data as it is. You can externalize, kind of boosting the current applications with some API connections to the new world, the engagement world. You can use the containers to make it more available in other platforms as well. You can do what we call a decouple to modernize, which is basically decompose workloads, application in data. You can migrate the existing DBs to reduce OpEx. We can replicate the copy to another availability zone. We can make this availability zone synchronize it in two directions. You can also refactor and replatform. Before putting the application into production in go live, it's prudent to test it first, right? So let's prototype. And this is where we automated the unit tests. We liveness and readiness testing in the hybrid cloud platform. We check for performance and scale situations and issues. We check for tuning options on the application. We test the application availability, and if something goes wrong, we can tune it as well to make it more available. Last step is what we call it confirm the engagement success. This is where we provide the results, the deliverables. We prove that the application has technical viability. We propose how to scale for a bigger workload. We frame the business value model for modernization, And finally, we document the process, including the lessons learned, what went wrong, what went well, and the observations that can assist in other iterations like this.
If you commit to building a culture of change, your organization won't be afraid when you try new things. They will welcome it. They won't be angry when you fail. They expect it. They won't be surprised when you succeeded. They expected that too. Because cultures of change know that success isn't a race, it is a relay. Cultures of change are always working to modernize. Remember this. So, to wrap up from here, modernization is not simply about seeking diamonds in your data or satisfaction of your customers. When you fall behind, your organization misses out on making systemic success. You need your technology, people, and processes all together to work towards your future. And finally, to modernize your applications, it is essential to understand how your applications align with your business priorities. Therefore, prioritizing smaller and significant changes to technology, people, and process can produce early success and lead to bigger opportunities of change. That was it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please send me your feedback about this series. I would love to hear from you. That will help me to improve, okay? And we have achieved the chapter number 5, so we are right in the middle of this series. What do you guys reckon? Cheers. Kia kaha matewa. See you next week. Bye-bye.